as soon as Sputnik was launched in October of 1957, the United Nations and the international community of nations realized that space travel, in one way, shape or form, was now a reality. And almost immediately there were a number of United Nations resolutions that were passed, and for the next 10 years that continued to be the case, leading to the first of the major space treaties in the late 1960s, which is called the Outer Space Treaty. That treaty itself sets a whole range of fundamental principles upon which subsequent treaties, and there are a number of those, build and expand. Issues dealing with liability, the status of astronauts, registration of launches. But the Outer Space Treaty is really the fundamental, we call it the Magna Carta of space law, that sets out some of these fundamental principles, which then dictates what the legal parameters of what we know as the law of outer space are. At the same time, the United Nations set up a number of bodies that look at outer space from a legal and regulatory perspective. There is the United Nations Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space, which is based in Vienna. It has about 50 or 60 state members, including Australia. And there is also a United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, also in Vienna, which looks at regulatory aspects of space, legal aspects of space, scientific aspects of space. So the United Nations plays a key role in the regulation of it. The more important issue, though, is that as our technological development of the ways we can utilize space expands, space becomes a far more political area, far more strategic area. And so it becomes harder and harder for the international community to agree on treaties and binding principles, because there are different vested interests based on the different technological and economic developments of the various countries involved. And so we have United Nations involvement, but it is quite difficult to reach consensus as to how to regulate some of the important issues that deal with space.